The ambulance, and moving quite along on it. I actually masked everything off to get the red two-tone there. Actually sprayed it Thursday, had it time to dry Friday, and today's Saturday. Pulled the tape off, just had a few little places where I needed to touch up with the white, where it just a little bleed through. That was my fault. But anyway, I touched up a few little areas, but anyway, we were looking pretty darn good. The door here, actually had to go, for whatever reason, the plastic wants the paint to come right off. It's basically the damnedest thing I've ever seen. Basically raw plastic, and usually paint for most time will stick to raw plastic and you don't need a primer. But anyway, it wants to pull up right there, so I got to go back in and paint just a little bit. But once I get Future on there, everything should blend in and be very secure and no chipping of paint. But anyway, we have got that far along, and I'm basically down to got to paint a little bit of trim and put the custom Myers emblem, and we're going to put that on the inside. I like the hearse because it'll just look nicer and give it that personal touch. And just got to paint chrome, on the handles and the little trim work. But I did get the sirens on. They're actually, I didn't glue them, and when I say glue, I actually used crystal clear. It just makes it a lot more nicer and didn't have to, won't hurt the paint. And so I did that. Got the I guess the siren on there. One thing is I had to do, I got a little bit of a thumbprint, and that was just from the glue because the chrome just hardly wouldn't glue together. I got that on, but I got to touch that up with a little bit of paint. It'll just be kind of a different color, but it'd be real close and it will look good. But anyway, we're getting closer on that. And what to do? Tail lights. I remembered last time from the hearse I needed to put the rear red plastic lens in first, because I actually had to pop them off the last time and put them on. But anyway, got those on. Those are in with crystal clear, and I'm basically down to the headlights, the crosses that go on the back here, and the custom Myers from fedoratron.com. Put that on. We can just getting ready to hopefully finish it up, and I'll probably try to finish it up this weekend so we can get it assembled and make it look good, so I can get these Future on, let it dry for a couple days. But anyway, that's where I stand on Mr. Ambulance. The petty car, again, after I painted the ambulance, I went ahead and very low setting on the airbrush, and I went in and airbrushed the black parts, basically on the interior, the seat, the dash, the little padding that goes on the rail here on the side. I got a little overspray on the inside, if you can see it. That's real easy. One thing about acrylic paint is you can take, and I probably don't have one handy. Oh, I probably threw it away. Oh, I did. Q-tip. Get you a Q-tip, and I don't have any on here because it's in the medicine cabinet, but get you some alcohol, dip your Q-tip in here. You can go in and get rid of the acrylic overspray. Real easy, it's no big deal. We don't have to, be totally perfect when you paint. You can always go back in with a little alcohol and touch up stuff, and you're good to go. But anyway, got most of it painted. I got to go back in with a brush and just square off a few little areas and darken just a few little areas on the black parts, and I'll be good to go on that. And then I just got to paint a little bit of a few things in the dash. Not a whole lot of the dials that you can see, but I'll just get white in there, do a little dry brushing with the brush, and then I'll probably put some Future or micro crystal clear, whatever, and just to make it look like there's an actual glass in there. And that's pretty much it on that. But what I'm going to do is I'll probably start painting more the upcoming week, but I'm going to try to finish the ambulance so I can focus on I'm basically going to do chrome. If there's chrome colors, I'll paint all that, and then go to like yellow. If there's yellow colors, I'll paint parts that are yellow and just work my way that way is my game plan. But that's always subject to change. But anyway, we'll just see how that goes. But anyway, we're starting to paint the petty car, and then of course I need to mask off the body because we're good and dry, and so we can put the day glow orange on the petty car. But anyway, one thing about the ambulance, I kind of tacked it on there. It's not really on, and I was trying to test fit, make sure it fits before I actually glued the interior on, just in case everything lines up. I got to paint the bottom of the gurney, but anyway, that's pretty much painted and ready to get a little more done on Mr. Ambulance. One thing about Mr. Ambulance, and I'm going to have to omit a one thing on here, and that is the decals. I won't be able to put the decals on. These are basically 60-year-old decals, and I bet you, even if you hovered them over water, I bet they would disintegrate. Even if I scanned it, they're too yellow. I mean, you'd have to really, and you really don't need it. I mean, it's actually, you know, it's an ambulance just by the colors, and then once you get the Myers photo etch in there, it'll really set it off anyway. But that's one thing I'm going to not do, because it's actually, and there's an old trick. If you ever have old decals, and I don't really, I've tried it, it works, but I really don't care for it. It's actually the glue is gone on these. You can actually go to a window and tape it on the outside of a window, and then let the sun beat on it, and it should bleach out the old yellow. That's an old school trick. I'm not a real big fan of it. That's because of the glue. I mean, once you put it in water, it just, you know, disintegrates. But anyway, you can put well, let's just use this micro. They got a decal bonder. You could probably spray it on it, but again, it's one of those. I wouldn't even say a 50-50 chance if it worked. But anyway, I'm going to omit the decals, but I wanted to let everyone know, and wanted to show that before, you know, like, hey, how come you didn't put on the decals? That's one of the main reasons why. I also tell people when they send me models, especially like Star Trek, give me replacement decals, because usually, you know, these are what, not 40-year-old, but, you know, 20-30-year-old models. Decals are somewhat good, somewhat bad, you know, it just depends on stuff like that. But anyway, that's where I stand on that. This is called a control box, and it's actually it's a prop, and I call it a one-day prop because it really didn't take long to build, and I said I would do it for a fellow photographer. He does photo shoots with lovely ladies, and he needed a quick little prop, and this is a control box. It's basically going to say, it's going to have off, minimum, maximum, and the button here, or a button, more of a dial. None of it works. It's just basically a bottle cap, a piece of 2x4 was skinned in styrene, painted light gray. You wanted well, let me show you. You wanted white lettering, which I'm not I tried it. I really didn't care for it. Get my phone to work here. No, not that one. Messenger. Come on, where is everybody? There we go. There we go. Looks something like that. And he just wanted a simple little prop. I thought, you know, that was easy enough to do, and really, it took maybe 10 minutes to, you know, get everything and glue everything together. And but anyway, it's a very, very simple prop. I want to do the black lettering, which is just vinyls, and then I'll just spray a fixative over it, just seal everything. But I got to paint the red dial just a little bit more. It's actually a cap that I found off the basically off the street, and because some days you just need a cap, and I held that on for some reason, but I just need to paint that, get that another coat of paint on there, and we'll be good, because that's one of them plastics where it really don't take paint really well. Even if you primer it to death, it just doesn't. But anyway, it's a very quick prop, and I look forward to seeing and that was fun to do. It's just something completely out of the blue, totally just different, and very fun. So looking forward to finishing that off, which I'm probably going to finish it off today or tomorrow, and got to get this out probably Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So anyway, that's the control box. Very simple. Very fun. But anyway, that's what I've got going on. I haven't done any Star Trek. I'm actually taking a little break. I'm just not in the mood to build the Star Trek. However, I'm kind of leaning toward I may build these two just to get me motivated, because it's basically I can just build them and paint them and have a little fun. That I got to put lights in, but we'll jump that bridge when we get there. But anyway, we'll probably end up doing the B. Probably shortly, hopefully, once I get in the mood to do it. And last but not least, hand mud. And I want to explain that tomorrow, in tomorrow's episode. That's actually masking putty. So we'll explain that tomorrow. So that's what I've got going on today. We are getting closer to finishing up the ambulance. Started painting the petty car, doing the control box prop, and hopefully, I'll have time if I remember. We'll talk about some hand mud. So that's what I got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.